Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and the county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with abundant favor as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessing descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our church. Amen. Honorable members, I'll refer to our standing order 32-2, and therefore I'll request Sergeant Atam to ring quorum bell for the first 5 minutes. Kindly, I'm not able to spot whip or the deputy, but I'm able to spot Honorable Ochele on the whip chair. Kindly, Honorable Ochele, whip members. And while Honorable Ochele is doing that, no member is allowed to leave the chambers. Honorable Ochele, on behalf of our whip, kindly confirm if you have quorum.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I can confidently say that we have a quorum.
Mr. Clerk, kindly take us to the order of the day.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and honorable members. Tuesday, 5th May 2026 at 2:30 p.m. Order paper number 411. Order number 1 is administration of oath.
Next order.
Communication from the chair. Order number 2.
Next order.
Order number 3 is messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Yes, Honorable Mrs. Ochele. Moses.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, some of our members, our colleagues are suffering from some defects, mild defects. We can just ignore them. Because I had clearly mentioned Moses. Madam Speaker, allow me to table some papers on reports of administration of law, justice, constitutional affairs, good governance, and security. That pursuant to the provisions of orders number 45(1) of the standing orders, this assembly adopts the report on the Committee on Administration of Law, Constitutional Affairs, Good Governance, and Security on matters A, the inquiry into state of security in Kisumu County, B, part of it, consideration of the Kisumu County access to information policy 2024. And with that, Madam Speaker, I lay.
Honorable members, I confirm a receipt of a report on the inquiry with the status of security in Kisumu County. A, that is A, and B, I also confirm a receipt of a report on the consideration with the Kisumu County access to information policy 2024, and that is sessional paper number 1 of 2026 by Committee of Administration of Law, Justice, Constitutional Affairs, Good Governance, and Security Committee. I want to direct this to House Business so that they can be scheduled for debate. Thank you. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Honorable Moses Ochele.
Thank you once more, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, that pursuant to the provisions of orders number 45(1) of the Assembly orders, Assembly adopts the report of the Committee of Administration of Law, Constitutional Affairs, Good Governance, and Security on the following tasks. A, the inquiry into the state of the county security in Kisumu County. B, consideration of Kisumu County access to information policy 2024. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Order number 7, statements.
Honorable members, it is statement hour. Yes, Deputy Majority Leader, Honorable Limumba Owade.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise pursuant to orders number 41(2) of C in my capacity as the County Assembly Deputy Majority Leader to present and lay on the table of the County Assembly a statement informing the...
Honorable Owadi, I don't know whether your mic is positioned properly. You are not audible enough here.
Okay, then let me hold it. I repeat myself, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise pursuant to orders number 41, 2 of C, in my capacity as the County Assembly Deputy Leader Majority to present and lay on the table of the County Assembly a statement informing the County Assembly of the business coming before the House in the following week. Madam Speaker, this is therefore to bring to the attention of members and the County Assembly that for the week commencing on Wednesday, 6th May 2026 to Tuesday, 12th May 2026, the Select Committee on Assembly House Business at its last meeting approved the following tentative businesses to appear in the order papers as follows. On Wednesday, 6th May 2026 at 9 a.m., the following papers will be laid. The Leader of Majority will lay on the table of the County Assembly the proposed county budget estimate for financial year 2026-2027. The Chairperson of Finance and ICT Committee will table the committee reports on A, the annual report and financial statement in Kisumu County climate change for the period ended 30th June 2025. B, the annual financial statement of County Executive. That's the period ended 30th June 2025. 3, Madam Speaker, the Chairperson of Labour and Social Welfare Services Committee will table the committee report on the matter of alleged severe labour violations, corruption, and exploitation at Keda Ceramics Miwani plant in Kisumu County. 4, the Chairperson of the Joint Committee of Water, Environment, Natural Resources and Climate Change and Trade, Tourism, Industry and Marketing will table the committee report regarding the deterioration state of cleanliness and waste management at Awasi Market. Number 5, Madam Speaker, the Chairperson of the Joint Committee of Finance and ICT and Agriculture, Fisheries, Livestock and Irrigation will table committee report regarding privatization of Chemelil, Miwani and Moroni sugar companies. And number 6, Madam Speaker, the Chairperson of the Implementation Committee will table committee report on the implementation status of House resolutions on the matter of non-functional street lights and floodlights in Ahero and Kisumu County at large. Madam Speaker, there will be notices of motion, and that will be number 1, the Chairperson of the Finance and ICT Committee will give notices of motion for the committee reports on A, the annual report and financial statement of Kisumu County climate change for the period ended 30th June 2025. B, the annual financial statement of County Executive, the period ended 30th June 2025. The Chairperson of the Labour and Social Welfare Services Committee will give a notice of motion for the report on the matter of alleged severe labour violations, corruption and exploitation at Keda Ceramics Miwani plant in Kisumu County. 3, the Chairperson of the Joint Committee on Water, Environment, Natural Resources and Climate Change and Trade, Tourism, Industry and Marketing will give a notice of motion for the report on the deteriorating state of cleanliness and waste management at Awasi. Number 4, Madam Speaker, the Chairperson of the Joint Committee on Finance and ICT and Agriculture, Fisheries, Livestock Development and Irrigation will give a notice of motion for the report on the privatization of Chemelil, Miwani and Moroni sugar companies. And finally, Madam Speaker, the Chairperson of the Implementation Committee on the implementation will give a notice of motion for the report on status of House resolutions on the matter of non-functional streetlights and floodlights in Ahero and Kisumu County at large. Commencement of business, Madam Speaker. The chairperson of PICPAC committee will move a motion for the adoption of the committee report on the examination of the Auditor General's report on financial statement of Kisumu County Water and Sanitation Company for the financial year 2024-25. Madam Speaker, on Wednesday, May 2026 at 2:30 p.m. at the commencement of the business, the chairperson of PICPAC committee will move a motion for the adoption of committee report on the examination of the Auditor General's report on financial statement of Kisumu County Referral Hospital for financial year 2024-2025. So the chairperson of the PICPAC committee will move a motion for the adoption of the committee report on the examination of the Auditor General's report on financial statement of Moroni County Level 4 Hospital for the financial year 2024-2025. On Wednesday, 7th May 2026 at 2:30 p.m., Madam Speaker, the commencement of business, the chairperson of Administration of Law, Justice, Constitutional Affairs, Good Governance and Security Committee will move a motion for the adoption of report on consideration of the Kisumu County Access to Information Policy 2024. On Tuesday, 12th May 2026 at 2:30 p.m., there will be a statement by the Leader of Majority who will issue a statement pursuant to orders number 41(2) of C of the standing orders, businesses coming before the County Assembly for the week commencing on Wednesday, 13th May 2026. And finally, Madam Speaker, the commencement of the business of that day, the chairperson of Finance and ICT Committee will move a motion for the adoption of the report on the review and examination of annual report and financial statements of Kisumu County climate change for the period ended 30th June 2025. That's all, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable members, it is still statement hour. Next order.
Commencement of business, order number 8, motion, adoption of the report of Implementation Committee on consideration of the implementation status of House resolution on the encroachment of riparian areas along Paga Beach in southwest Kisumu by Honorable James Omolo.
Yes, Honorable James Omolo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me to move a motion on adoption of the report of Implementation Committee on consideration of the implementation status of House resolution on the encroachment of riparian areas along Paga Beach in southwest Kisumu ward. Madam Speaker, this House adopted a report of the Sectoral Committee on Lands, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development on the matter of encroachment of riparian areas along Paga Beach in southwest Kisumu ward. Pursuant to Article 185 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, Section 8 and 9, the County Governments Act 2012 and Standing Orders number 191, the Assembly's resolution on that report were referred to the Committee on Implementation for follow-up and reporting. In accordance with its mandate, the committee convened an initial meeting on Monday, 3rd March 2025 and resolved to initiate an inquiry into implementation status of the House resolutions arising from the Paga Beach encroachment report. The committee formally wrote to the County Executive, Committee Member CCM for Lands, Physical Planning and Housing and Urban Development requesting on status report on actions taken on to implement the resolutions as annexed 1. After no timely response, we received the committee issued a reminder on 16th March 25 and a further follow-up on 19th May 2025 to the CCM as attached in the annexes 2 and 3. Pursuant to standing orders number 184 and Article 153 4B of the Constitution, the committee eventually received a written submission from the Department of Lands, Fiscal Planning, Housing and Urban Development outlining the progress made in implementing each resolution. The submissions was tabled before the committee and subjected to detailed scrutiny against the directives of the House. Upon review, the committee noted that certain responses lacked sufficient supporting evidence and documentation. Consequently, the committee resolved to invite the County Executive Committee member for Lands, Fiscal Planning, Housing and Urban Development to appear before it and provide clarifications as well as furnish the requisite evidence to substantiate the actions reported in the Annexure 4 copy of the invitation letter. This report compiles the department's submission alongside the committee's observation on the implementation status of each resolution and concludes with the committee recommendation for further action. Honorable Speaker, the report by the Committee on Lands, Housing, Fiscal Planning, Housing and Urban Development had the following House resolution. Number 1, that the County Executive Committee member for Lands, Fiscal Planning, Housing and Urban Development launch a public awareness campaign to educate residents, landowners and businesses about the importance of riparian zones and the consequences of encroachment, and report on the initiation of this process be submitted to this assembly within the period of 90 days upon adoption. The submissions were given, and these were the observation. The committee noted that while public education forums were indeed held, they focused mainly on general land matters such as tenure, adjudication, and planning, rather than specifically targeting riparian zone protection or the dangers of encroachment. The spirit of the Assembly's resolution was to raise awareness specifically on riparian issues at Paga Beach and similar vulnerable sites has therefore not been fulfilled. As such, resolution 1 has not been implemented as approved by the Assembly. Number 2, Madam Speaker, was that the County Executive Committee member for Lands, Fiscal Planning, Housing and Urban Development to seek collaboration with the national government and conduct accurate demarcation and mapping of all riparian areas in Kisumu County to clearly delineate boundaries and prevent further encroachment. Upon the submission of the department, the committee observed the following, Madam Speaker. 1, the committee acknowledges that initial steps have been taken towards collaboration with the national government for riparian mapping. However, the Assembly directive has not yet been fully implemented comprehensively. Demarcation and mapping of all riparian areas in Kisumu County remains incomplete. Notably, as of this report, no tangible results such as finalized maps or marked boundaries on the ground have been achieved, and thus the risk of continued encroachment persists until this exercise is finalized. On recommendation number 3, that going forward, the County Executive Committee member for Lands, Fiscal Planning and Housing and Urban Development must ensure strict enforcement of existing laws and regulations that prohibits encroachment and development within the riparian zones. Madam Speaker, on this, the committee did observe that the committee notes that the department has made significant progress in enforcing riparian protection through the deployment of dedicated officers, strengthening interdepartmental collaboration, and routine monitoring of developments. The issuance of compliance notices and demolition orders further confirms active enforcement of relevant laws. Overall,
the committee finds that the executive has substantially implemented the solution by enhancing enforcement capacity and operational effectiveness in preventing encroachment into riparian zones. On resolution number 4, Madam Speaker, that the county executive committee member for lands, fiscal planning, housing and urban development must ensure that the activities within the riparian areas align with the recent launched Kisumu City local land use development plans that designate riparian areas as protected zones with specific land use restrictions. On this, Madam Speaker, the committee observed that the department has taken concrete steps to enforce planning regulations in riparian areas by beginning detailed planning for the high-risk locations like Paga Beach and employing GIS technology to map out protected zones. The county is laying the groundwork for stricter land use control. These efforts demonstrate a commitment to align on the ground activities with the Kisumu City local land use plan. While these initiatives are ongoing and need to be seen through to completion, i.e. finalizing the action area plan and officially adopting the delineated zones, the progress so far is commendable and indicates that this resolution is in the process of being implemented. Madam Speaker, on the resolution number 5, that going forward, pursuant to planning and land use 2019 regulations, the county executive committee member for lands, physical planning, housing and urban planning makes it a mandatory requirement for any developer to submit an environmental impact assessment EIA for any proposed development projects near riparian areas. This may involve replanting native vegetation, stabilizing riverbanks, and restoring natural habitats to enhance ecosystem resilience. On this, Madam Speaker, the committee finds that the recommendation has been fully addressed through existing laws and active enforcement. The requirement for EIAs SEAs is well established, and the department is ensuring adherence to it as part of the development control process. The committee lauds the multi-agency approach to compliance monitoring as evidenced by joint inspection exercise. It also notes the planned environmental audit of Paga Beach developments as a proactive step to assess and enhance compliance. These actions collectively satisfy the Assembly's call for stringent environmental oversight of projects near the riparian zones. On the resolution number 6, Madam Speaker, that the county executive committee member of our lands, fiscal planning, housing and urban development develop programs for the restoration and rehabilitation of degraded riparian areas. This may involve planting of native vegetation, stabilizing riverbanks, and restoring natural habitats and to enhance ecosystem resilience. On this, we observe that the committee observes that this recommendation is largely addressed in principle through the planned reforestation and habitat restoration efforts. The proposed actions directly tackle the need to rehabilitate riparian zones at Paga Beach and elsewhere, which is at the core of the Assembly's recommendation. The use of bamboo and indigenous trees is an appropriate strategy to enhance ecosystem resilience and involve the community in the conservation through fruit trees. The committee emphasizes that timely implementation of this plan will be crucial. At present, these efforts are in planning stage, and the committee urges the department to move swiftly to the execution phase to achieve the tangible restoration outcomes. Madam Speaker, having considered the above findings, the committee recommended the following actionable steps to ensure full implementation of this House resolution. Number 1, targeted public awareness on riparian protection. The committee urges the CECM for Lands Fiscal Planning, Housing and Urban Development to develop and launch a focused public awareness campaign about riparian zone, conservations and consequences of encroachment. This campaign should specifically target communities in affected areas such as Paga Beach area in Southwest Kisumu ward and involve the public forums, local media and educational materials. A report on the initiatives undertaken on this matter should be submitted to the County Assembly before the end of fiscal year 25-26. Number 2, on expedited mapping and demarcation of riparian areas. The CECM for Lands Fiscal Planning, Housing and Urban Development, in liaison with the national government surveying authorities, should fast track the comprehensive survey, mapping and demarcation of all riparian lands areas in the Kisumu County. The committee expects noticeable progress at priority sites, including clearly demarked boundaries at Paga Beach within 6 months. Furthermore, county-wide riparian mapping should be finalized within the 12 months of this report adoption. The CECM should provide quarterly progress reports to the Assembly on the exercise until its completion. Number 3, strict monitoring and enforcement actions. The CECM for lands must ensure that the department regularly utilizes its monitoring mechanisms to detect any encroachment on riparian land and promptly impose penalties on violators. Any ongoing or future development found violating riparian zone regulations should immediately receive enforcement notices and legal sanction as per the law, e.g. stoppage orders, fines, or structures demolition. The CCM is directed to submit quarterly progress report to the Assembly any cases of riparian encroachment identified since May 2024 and the enforcement actions taken so far. Number 4, on enhanced field surveillance in Kisumu West, the county executive should ensure that the designated enforcement team in Kisumu West sub-county, the sub-county, e.g. the sub-county planner, enforcement officers, and attached environment or public health officers is adequately resourced and empowered to conduct regular inspections of riparian areas. This team should carry out field surveillance on the continuous basis, at least monthly, and promptly intervene to halt any illegal encroachment. So number 5, implementation of land use plans for riparian zones. The Department of Lands Fiscal Planning, Housing and Urban Development should expedite the finalization and implementation of the Paga Beach Action Area Plan under the Kisumu City Local Land Use Development Plan. The committee expects the detailed plan for Paga Beach, including official delineation of the riparian reserve and its permitted uses, to be completed and adopted within 120 days. Thereafter, the department must enforce the stipulated land use restrictions strictly, meaning no approvals should be granted for developments that contravene the protected status of riparian zones. A report on the finalized action area plan and measures taken to enforce it should be submitted to the Assembly within the next 6 months upon this report's adoption. On number 6, environmental audit and ongoing compliance checks, the committee directs that the CECM for lands, in collaboration with the CECM for environment and NEMA, to carry out the planned environmental audit of Paga Beach developments and ensure it is completed within the next 60 days. The findings of this audit, along with any remedial actions such as recommended removals or mitigation for non-compliant structures, should be reported to the Assembly immediately upon completion of the audit. Moreover, the county executive should maintain strict strict enforcement of IEA and SEA requirements and NCA regulations for all developments near riparian areas and include compliance update in its regular reports to the Assembly. Number 7, commence riparian restoration initiatives. The Department of Lands, in partnership with the Department of Environment, should move from planning to implementation of the riparian restoration program at Paga Beach. The afforestation efforts, e.g. planting of bamboo and indigenous trees, should commence on the ground within the next 60 days of this report, optimally timed with the rainy season for planting success. Additionally, the department should outline a rollout plan to rehabilitate other degraded riparian sites across the county. A progress report on the restoration activities should, including the extent of areas restored, number of trees planted, and community participation, should be presented to the Assembly within 4 months. And number 8, community engagement and stewardship. The committee recommends that the CECM for lands, together with the CECM for environment, to establish and support community-based committee or groups for riparian zones protections at Paga Beach and other vulnerable sites. This should be done within 90 days, and 90 days of this report adoption, and can involve leveraging existing community structures such as beach management units or forming a new conservancy committees. The county should facilitate training and capacity building for the groups, encouraging local residents to monitor and report any encroachments. The CECM should report back to the Assembly within 90 days on the community engagement measures instituted, including details of any committees formed and their activities. Madam Speaker, at this moment, it is now my honor and privilege on behalf of the Committee on Implementation to move this motion before this Honorable House for consideration and adoption. I would like to call Honorable Mildred Ajumbo to second. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Mildred Ajumbo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I stand to second the report on the status of implementation of House resolutions on encroachment of riparian areas along Paga Beach in southwest Kisumu. Madam Speaker, this is a very detailed report coming from the Committee of Implementation. And when you look at the observation and their recommendations, it is quite detailed, Madam Speaker. The riparian land that is along Paga and many other beaches or any other parts of the country, people have interfered with the land, Madam Speaker, and the more reason why they need to create awareness by the Department of Lands and Physical Planning. One of the areas, Mr. Speaker, I support the report is that public awareness is very important. You find a lot of people that live along the riparian areas, they do not know that it is wrong to either cultivate land around there, or they do not know that they need to be protected. Because many times you see, like the areas along Kisumu beaches, many people have been killed by the crocodiles and the hippos, Madam Speaker, because of the encroachment. And Madam Speaker, quite a number of investors have also encroached on the land. The more reason why we need to come up with a policy from the department that will help protect this land. I want to support the report on quarterly progress that should be brought to the Assembly by the department so that the Assembly can know how far the department is taking this matter serious. A lot of monitoring and enforcement needs to come from the Department of Lands and Physical Planning. And the committee has also recommended that they need to do surveillance by enforcement. They can use the officers that are working in the department to do the work. They can use inspectors, the land officers along the riparian land. The environmental audit also needs to be carried out from time to time. And just like the recommendation coming from the committee, that a lot of capacity building needs to be done at the community level so that the community members can know the importance of not encroaching the riparian land. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I urge the House to support the report. Thank you.
Honorable members, now that a motion on adoption of the report of the Implementation Committee on consideration of the implementation of status of House resolution on the encroachment of riparian areas along Paga Beach in southwest Kisumu has been presented and seconded. I want to propose a question, and I propose that the motion is open for debate. Yes, Honorable Miriam Abed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to support the bill and specifically to congratulate the Committee of Implementation on a job well done. Usually the issues of land is very sensitive, and I think they've done an excellent job.
Yes, Honorable Bill Oliver.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, judging by the mood of the House, I want to call the mover to respond.
Honorable Bill, were you calling the mover to reply? But I can see Honorable Lady is on his feet. Proceed, Honorable Lady.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. Issue of riparian lands brings a lot of commotion within the regions where we come from. More so, the issue of riparian land along the Paga Beach, which brings a lot of commotion within the area. As the Chair of Environment, I had already paid a visit to the area, and there were a lot of commotions. And as per the Committee of Implementation did their thorough research, it means the report they brought to the floor of the House is not even having approved. In order to verify the riparian land within our areas, there should be approval consultation from the NEMA team, which they have not attached to this report, Madam Speaker. In order to verify the riparian lands, again, Madam Speaker, there should be an engagement with the licensed surveyors, of which, if we look through the report, we are not able to see the engagement with the licensed surveyors that shows that the riparian land covers from which point to which point. And as we all know that the riparian land covers over a certain distance of region from the water body, about 1 to 30 meters from the water body. Here, they have not stated how the encroachment has been done to the land, Madam Speaker, showing the distance from what the water body and the Paga Beach area is covered within this report, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as we move with the issue of about riparian land, the public engagement through the environmental management were not conduct engagement. The Environmental Management Coordination Act was not clearly followed, Madam Speaker, to show the region as where the land has been encroached up to what particular point, Madam Speaker. And with those few remarks, Madam Speaker, I say to object this report by stating that they do go and do thorough work to bring for us the NEMA report consultation and the engagement license, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Peter Basso.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also rise to add my voice in the report before this House. Madam Speaker, riparian land is a bit emotive issue around these areas where water bodies are. Madam Speaker, I think the committee should have come with a standard measurement that that can be used to measure from the water body to a place where human encroachment can start. I think that will give a clear direction so that we don't have conflict between the residents and encroachment of these rivers. Not only through Lake Victoria, but I can see it in also through Nyamasaria River, River Uji. I think they should come with a standard measurement, and that should be stated clearly so that we don't have human conflict with these water bodies. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support.
Yes, Honorable Dede.
As a point of order, Madam Speaker, as we are moving with this emotive issue, Madam Speaker, there is no quorum in this House.
I'm not able to see majority leader, even the deputy, even the whip. Therefore, I want to delegate Honorable Mikio Chiang, kindly confirm if we have quorum.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. There's quorum in the House. Thank you.
Madam Speaker.
Honorable J, they have not given you permission. Honorable Miki has confirmed that there is quorum. We proceed.
Madam Speaker, the
Kindly, Honorable
a third of the House should be the quorum.
Be orderly.
A third of 48 is 16
Be
members.
orderly,
Are we really
Honorable
16 if you count, Madam Speaker? Count if you
Honorable Dede, be orderly. It is not my duty to count. I have delegated and she has confirmed we have quorum. Kindly, Honorable Dede.
Madam Speaker, there is no quorum in this House.
Honorable Dede. Honorable Dede, I'll order the sergeant at arms to take you outside if you cannot be orderly. Kindly resume your seat. Kindly resume your seat. Honorable members, the mover had already been called to reply, so therefore, Honorable Omolo, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Honorable Dede is really adamant for this motion. I don't know why. But Honorable Speaker, I want to thank members for contributing on this motion. There are action plans which were done by the further committee, which is the lands and fiscal planning, and they did their part, even knowing what was to be there. And they were the ones who gave the recommendation. And us, as implementation, we're just checking how far they have implemented the recommendations of the lands committee. So we were not to go again to their mandate. This matter is very emotive, Madam Speaker, but I can tell you, Madam Speaker, even as we speak, there are orders which have been done by the lands fiscal planning executive, so that some people who encroached in Paga can face the law. And I think this is a very good way of moving, so that it is only not on Paga, but even the rest of riparian areas that have been encroached. And I think that is a very good move for the department to be taking action on those who have violated the landmarks as per the law. On surveillance and monitoring, I think, Madam Speaker, the department has deployed the officers, and I think so far what they're doing, they can do better than that, and report back to this assembly. And we have given timelines, Madam Speaker, for this action plan, so that for every riparian areas, be it for the rivers, like Honorable Basso has mentioned, River Uji and Nyamasaria, this action plan has been clearly stipulated in this report so that they can report back to this. This is not the end of it. They have to report back on measures they have taken to make sure that the riparian are not encroached further. Madam Speaker, I want to thank all the honorable members for contributing on this, and I beg them that this report will really put the executive on toes in making sure that all the upcoming buildings and even the already built ones are adhering to the environmental laws. And also in terms of restoring the degraded riparian sections, it is very clear what we have recommended on what they should do and how they should do it. Madam Speaker, I beg to reply. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, now that a motion on adoption of the report of Implementation Committee on consideration of the implementation status of our resolution on the encroachment of riparian areas along Paga Beach in southwest Kisumu has been presented, seconded and debated. I want to put a question, and I put that as many as the opinion that the motion on adoption of the report of Implementation Committee on consideration of the implementation status of our resolution on the encroachment of riparian areas along Paga Beach in southwest Kisumu as deliberated upon be adopted, say aye.
Aye.
As many as the contrary opinion say nay.
Nay.
And the ayes have it. And now the report, the motion on adoption of the report of Implementation Committee on consideration of the implementation status of our resolution on the encroachment of riparian areas along Paga Beach in southwest Kisumu has been adopted today, Tuesday, 5th May 2026 at 15:30 hours. I want to direct that the recommendations of this report and that of the House debate be forwarded to the relevant department for action. Next order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and honorable members. There is no any AOB.
Honorable members, let's be upstanding. Honorable members, there's no any other business before this honorable house. Therefore, they'll stand adjourned till tomorrow, Wednesday, 6th May 2026 at 9 a.m.